All right, all right. So I'm going to review this show I actually like a lot, but I came to a realization that many Africans simply love deflection. There's so many Africans, I've come to realize many Africans don't want anything to do with logic. They just don't. And Africans, a lot of times, I really feel I got to start having these conversations with Africans because I've spoken to a lot of Africans this past 2 weeks. Africans don't like logic. There's like it's like maybe 2 out of 10 Africans can understand what Americans are saying or understand logic. Africans just don't really like logic. What's up, Inquisitive Prince? I'm trying a new thing today. And Africans, man, they just on this thing where you ask them a question and they start talking about something totally different. For everybody watching, please hit the one. Please hit the one. This is going to be very interesting. So this white woman here lives in South Africa. I don't know if she's born in South Africa, but she does live there. This white woman, um, she made some statements about Africa. And one of her number one statements is, you Africans don't create anything. Now, the rebuttal that people used when she said that was, what are you talking about? We manufacture. Manufacture is not the same thing as create. This is why it's so difficult to have strategic conversations with my loving African brothers and sisters because the stuff they say is not a logical response. This white woman says, you Africans have not created. We created this and we created that. And these two African people responded, and I'm about to let you hear the response. They responded by saying, well, we manufacture what was created. Therefore, we created. You can't make this stuff up, man. Now, if somebody disagrees, come in. Come in. I mean, War Report, how you doing, sir? Yeah, so these and again, I like Africans a lot and I want to bridge the gap, but I realized this week what it is. Many Africans like long-winded answers that have nothing to do with what you asked them. Many Africans like long-winded answers. Just like if I was to ask an African person, not all Africans, well, let me be clear, not all Africans, let me be clear, not all Africans, but the majority of Africans, if I said, hey, Miss African lady, is this a white woman? 2 out of 10 Africans will say, yes, that's a white woman. But 8 out of 10 white women, black African women will say she's a human being, just like everyone else. I don't believe in black and white. That ain't what I asked you. All that. Okay. So she's not black or white, she's a human being. Wow. And when you give answers like that, it's hard to have a discussion. Because I will agree, she's neither white nor black, but that's not the current world we operate in. If I was living in the time of a Kubalan, people would say, I'm not black, I'm a Kubalan. If I was living in the time period of Nubians, people would say, I'm Nubian. If I was in the Blackamoors, people would say, you got to answer in the way that we're operating now. War Report says, soaking up the isms, always a pleasure to hear you kick certified game. Thank you very much, sir. Today, I'm talking about something international. Africans, I want to bridge the gap, but they love deflective answers, man. The answers they give are so fabricated, and it's like you ask them the simple thing. But let's get into this It's on the Kinganda channel, and I'm gonna take it step by step so we don't miss nothing.
I'm gonna put it on the screen. Yeah. Tracy Zeal. So Tracy Zeal looks like a dusty, single, over-aged white woman.
So start right there. You don't. So here's an African. He doesn't like what the woman said. So his first response is to call her dusty and talk about how single she is. What does that have to do with being logical? What does that have to do with being logical? If you're a logical African person, what does name calling have to do with being logical? Okay, but you don't like what she said. So instead of competing with her based on information, here's the thing. The African people who were mad at what she says realize she's actually right. It's kind of like us with America. When people say, hey, you Black Americans are killing each other at a higher rate than white people are killing you, you're absolutely right. Our only reply is, you're supposed to be a government tax official. Why are you doing it? You're just supposed to arrest. You're supposed to write a ticket. So that's our only reply. But we do admit, as Americans, yes, our boys who grow up in these single mother homes are killing each other at a high rate. And a lot of these fathers don't have the lawyer money to fight these mothers. I got you. I will not deny that. You see how quickly I say I will not deny it? That's the failure of the fathers. That's the failure of the mothers. See how I included everybody? But now he's name calling this woman instead of addressing what she's actually saying.
That's the best way I could describe her. Tracy Zeal, and she has something to say about Africans.
Well, what did she say?
Oh my God. I just,
So he's mad because she made a statement about Africans. He's so mad that he cannot present a logical answer to rebut what she's saying because African people don't like specificity. They don't like details when they give their reply. They don't like answers that have to do with specificity. This woman is going to talk about you don't create. They're going to switch that whole topic. They're going to go away from the word create. And they're going to talk about reproducing product, which is manufacturing. Manufacturing is reproducing what was created. Let me say it again. Manufacturing is all about reproducing what was created. What was created. Manufacturing has nothing to do with creating. And this is when it starts to get weird because you don't want to disrespect our African people, but our African people hate logic. They hate direct answers. 7 people in here, man. 3 of you guys hit the like button. 3 of you guys hit the like button, please. So let's get into it.
Her face almost made me feel though.
So see, he's back to her face again. This is the second time. This is why I wanted to do it step by step. He's back to her face again. She made a logical point. If you want to call in, call in. But she made a logical point. His reply is to spend 5 minutes talking about her appearance. I woke up realizing this is why it's very hard to discuss this stuff with our African people. War Report says, attack the message. Exactly. Control your tongue. No logic whatsoever. Right. Attack what she said. She said Africans do not create inside of Africa. They only reproduce. Reproduce. That's not creation. So instead of him just admitting, instead of our African brothers admitting, you know what, we talking about we make all this money, we talking about how well we doing. She's absolutely right. We don't create anything inside of Africa. We just reproduce things like China does. See, according to, and I'm about to let you guys hear it. According to what they're saying, I guess they're going to say China creates all those products. No, they reproduce them. That's totally different. Africans have this adversarial, respectful disagreements. It's either their way or no way. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing, man. I've been in a lot of groups now with Africans, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to them talking about something we're not even discussing. And you're like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with what we're actually discussing? And by that time, 10, 20 minutes have gone by. But let's dig into some more.
I'm gonna say that out there. So Tracyville was like, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Africans, let's put the post on the screen. Africans should be the last people to complain about the COVID-19 vaccine. If Europeans want to kill you, they would have done it a long time ago.
So stop right there. So the lady is making a comment about COVID-19. That's how this starts. And in her mind, she believes, hey, if you don't trust it, fine, create your own COVID-19 vaccine. What's wrong with that? What are you calling her names for that you don't like her face? That's a valid statement. Listen. If you don't like the COVID thing and you feel that white people are trying to kill you, get out here with all these black people. You know, you got technology dudes all around here in Africa. You got medical dudes all around here in Africa. Create your own vaccine. And guess what, black people? Guess what, black people? Bankroll your own vaccine. War Report, if you send me your email, I will phone call you through Hangout. Send me your email right now, and I will phone call you through Hangout. I have a different phone that will allow you to get in through Hangout. And if that doesn't work, I'll give you the call number that I have. Either or. War Report says stems from their upbringing. Yeah, stems from their upbringing. It's a weird thing, but let's not negate. He's trying to answer her thing about COVID, but he's going to ignore that she said, create your own situation. He's going to ignore that. And I find it weird because I'm like, why would you ignore her actual point? Why would you start talking about something totally different that she's not even discussing? You're talking about something she's not. Listen to this.
Coca-Cola products from Europe, KFC, even KFC, and many food production companies. Europeans produce majority of food you eat, including baby formula.
So her second point is Europeans create Coca-Cola products, fast food, all this stuff that they could kill Africans with if they wanted to kill Africans. They don't have to do it through COVID-19. These two African people are going to avoid that whole point. It's a valid point. If they wanted to kill you, they would do that. War Report, where is your email, sir? Where is your email so I can give you the call-in number? So he's going to ignore that. Watch this. They're going to start talking about something totally different. This is why I'm breaking it step by step. What's going on, Mr. Mosman?
If they want to kill you, they would have done it a long time ago. The only thing that you produce in Africa, babies.
So she takes a screwed up shot. Okay, but I'm gonna defend the Africans on this one thing. This white lady says the only thing you produce is babies. Now, the word produce, maybe the Africans didn't understand. Okay. When she said produce, she meant create, because produce is what manufacturing is. She meant to say create. So maybe this is where there was a loss in translation. Okay. The only thing they create is babies. So let's scratch out produce. The only thing they create is babies. Okay. So where is the African movie theater created by Africans? Now, I know there is one, but where is it? Where is the African stadium? So what she's saying is there's too many things that are created by whites. And if whites wanted to kill them, keyword kill them, they had many other opportunities.
Wow. Okay.
See, now he's offended. And it's like, you could say the same thing about Americans. Americans, we sit up here and have way too many babies. What are we in control of? What are we in control of? That's where the problem is. We don't want to be extremely honest on the fact that we're not in control of a lot of these things. And we need to be more in control of these things, but we're not. So being that we're not in control of a lot of these things, being that we're not the creators of a lot of these things, who do we blame? My African people are going to avoid that part. They're going to avoid the whole part of, hey, we don't actually create. That's all this person is saying. This person is saying, hey, look, you're not creating. Now, yeah, it was an insult. Put it in there about the whole babies. Yeah, that's an insult. I get it. Let's stick to what's being said, though. What are African Americans creating? Guess what? I'm not going to let us off the hook. What are African Americans creating? What are we creating? That's the point we need to stick to. We need to stick to what's actually being said and not these long-winded answers. But let's hear what he had to say. War report. I'm still waiting for your email, buddy.
More. That is why you even have baby making weather and eye blanket. Relax. No one wants to kill you. For goodness sake, you are not that important and you are not a threat. Okay, fine. If
you're not that important and you're not a threat. See, here's what I don't understand. I want him to be able to speak to what she said and not just make up some fantastic anger issue. What was actually said? And I'm going to tell you what was actually said. What was actually said is, you guys don't create.
If you don't want the vaccine, you're welcome to develop yours. Oh.
Okay. She said, if you don't want the vaccine, you are welcome to develop yours. Okay? This is not a hard thing to understand. I don't understand what the difficulty here is. Why my loving African cousins feel like someone's disrespecting them. She made a true statement. If you don't like it, if there's something you are disagreeing with, it's very simple. Create your own. And this goes for us as Americans also. I'm not going to take us off the hook. This goes for us as Americans also. If it's something you don't like, create your own. Simply create your own.
Oh, sorry. You can't even make your own toothbrush or condom.
Wait a minute. She said you can't even make your own toothbrush or condom. So this is where my African brother and sister lose their logic. They're still stuck on the word produce. This woman is talking about create. Where is the African toothbrush created by Africans? That's her point. Where's the African condom created by Africans? African Americans created their own condoms. African Americans created their own toothbrushes. So this is her point. What have Africans created? Now let's listen to his long-winded reply that has nothing to do with what she's talking about. And this is why I said this is proof that Africans hate logic, man. They just really hate it.
You rely on China, so shut up and take the vaccine or die. Wow. You want to read the rest?
Yeah, and she went ahead to say this was 41 years ago. Don't insult me for telling you the truth. We used our money to build universities, science research facilities. You used your money to build big churches.
White people use their money to build universities. Where is the university that has been built by Africa? Anybody in the chat room, where is the university that has been built by Africa? Still waiting. Where is the university that has been built by? Have you ever just wondered that? Greece created, Italy created, all these people came after Africa. Where is the university created by Africans? Where? Because the ones that are in Africa were created by white people. So she has a point again. Where is it?
And buy your pastors and prophets, because and houses. Our research facilities produce COVID-19 vaccine. Your churches produce anointing oil. You buy expensive anointing oil from your churches without any noise, and you're rejecting free COVID-19 vaccine from scientists. Something is wrong upstairs.
So what she's saying, look, she's speaking to politics. She's saying, Africa, you're buying all these things from countries without any guarantees. But then when we start talking about the vaccine, okay, just go create your own. Stop saying white people are trying to kill you. That's a valid argument, man.
It's not. And she even puts her Twitter, like, if you want to do on Twitter. Let me just read this out. We get right to it. If it was not for us, your mouth would have been, oh my God, would have been smelling like dead rats, because even today you can't make your own toothpaste.
You can't create your own toothpaste. Now, see, the African lady says, oh my God. You know, it's so funny when African people realize how much white people do not look at them as humans. We try so hard to convince Africans that they are Black. We work diligently to try to convince Africans that they are Black. But for some reason, that's one part of the thing they just not interested in that part of it, which has always fascinated me. But you know, that's neither here nor there. You're Black. White people see you as Black. You could call yourself humans, and you know, you don't believe in that white Black stuff, but white people believe in that white Black stuff. It's time for Black Africans to start believing that they're Black. Nobody cares that you're from this country and that country. Nobody cares that you're from this tribe and that tribe. People outside of Africa don't care. They see you as Black. And it's time for you to start realizing it.
So shut up and take a vaccine or die. Colgate made in the US, Aquafresh made in Britain, Close Up made in England. Basically, she's just trying to say where all Colgate is made. And then she also mentioned rich prophets, pastors, bishops made in Africa.
Also, we only have bishops and prophets.
Apparently, white people produce tooth.
Okay, now you see them cracking jokes. You see the African people cracking jokes. Okay, that's within their right. But again, they're not able to combat anything that she's saying. Not with logic, not with logic, not with detail, not with specificity. They can't speak to anything that she's actually saying. Instead, they crack jokes, talk about her look, and this has been going on for 4 minutes. So let's see what they're actually able to say on a logical level.
Toothpaste, and Africans produce anointing oil and prayers.
Wow. So, John,
She said the only thing Africans produce is anointing oil and prayers. It's a valid point. It's a valid point. I know it makes people mad, but it's a valid point. What's being produced? Now, I know at one point in time they were making cars in Africa, in one of the countries in Africa. But that's just one of the countries. Got to start having better answers when we're on the global scale as Africans. We got to start having better answers. Because what she's saying is not incorrect.
because I'm so angry, I want you to first give me your opinion.
He's so angry. Wait a minute. Why are you angry at what the woman is saying? Why would we not just be logical and give a better breakdown of how she's incorrect? See, here's the thing that as I'm talking to more and more Africans, here's the thing. Africans are always telling me I'm wrong, but not able to explain how I'm wrong. Let me say that again. I'm always hearing Africans say, you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay. But then they cannot explain how. Explain in detail. How am I wrong? You're just wrong. What you saying is this and what you saying is that. I know what I'm saying. Can you explain how I'm wrong? You're just wrong. You need to shut up. See, it's nothing logical. It's just shut up. Shut up is the answer for everything. Don't say anything to me is the answer for everything. Why? Why is shut up the only answer when you ask a person something? Mosman says, I haven't heard of African universities. Well, there are African universities. They're just not built by Africans. They're built by white people. Mosman says, white people don't consider them as humans. No, they don't. White people consider them as servants, people who manufacture and produce for them. They look at Africans as cotton pickers. They don't look at them as equals. But every time you listen to an African, they're like, we're human too. They don't look at you like that. Mr. Menez says, peace to Mr. Research in the chat. Peace to you, Menez. Logic is so much easier, but it appears to be a hard way of expressing ideas and emotion. Well, if you look at it, the thing he did this whole time was just talk about how angry he was. And I've come to realize watching this particular, Africans are not able to articulate specificity. Africans are not able to articulate specificity. Maybe 2 Africans out of 10 can. Maybe 20% can. Because shout out to the brother Truth, he can do it. But there's a lot of Africans that cannot do detail. They can't express detail. You said lazy and inept. Yeah, that's how it comes across. The Africans don't know how to use power. Well, you know what, Menez, you're right. They don't know how to use power because just like this example, they do so much name calling, talking about looks. The woman made a valid point. Africa does not create. It just reproduces what others have created.
On this, because for me, what I'm if
First
I start,
of all, let me keep looking at that. First of all, yeah, this woman right here is, I mean, this is dance. Why does someone think of Africans in this way? Why? Like,
See, this is another thing. Africans always, why do they hate us? Why? We're humans too. That's not logic. You're not dealing with what is when you start off your argument like that. That's not a college answer. Why is this algebra not working? Why? It doesn't make no sense. Why? We're all students here. It doesn't make no sense. So when you go into this thing of why, you're wasting time. Answer the white lady's question.
It's like we are not equal beings. Like, oh,
see, back to that. Shout out to the chat room, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. But shout out to the chat room, man. I'm not hating on Africans. It's just that we got to start having these uncomfortable conversations with Africans. I'm changing this whole channel into a African American related channel because Africans simply don't understand, man. They're not able to have logical conversations without name calling and deflection. You know what I'm saying? And I've just figured it out today. You know, it's not a hate for Africans. It's like, why would that be your answer? Why are you answering in that way? Why do you feel the need to talk about appearances and all this other stuff when the person is making a valid question? And this is why I feel like Africans can't move forward, because they're always leading off with this stuff that has nothing to do with nothing. Has nothing to do with nothing. So hold on for a second. All right, let's continue.
No, the lands are superior and then Africans are inferior.
Hey, 4 of you people, please hit the like button. 4 of you people, please hit the like button. So she's going into why is she not looked at as human?
Like, oh no, the lands are superior and then Africans are inferior. I will just remind you, Africa has produced some things.
She said Africa has produced some things. See, this is what we got to start realizing as Americans. Africans get caught up on one word. The lady was not talking about produce. She said create. Later, she said the word produce babies. So now this African person has changed the whole dynamic of what the white woman said. You haven't created anything in Africa. You only reproduce. Let me say it again. You don't create things in Africa. You reproduce what others have created. This is why we got to break this stuff down, because I realized today, Mosman, for everybody in the chat room, this ain't no hate for Africans. I want to build with Africans. But I realized I got to start having one-on-one conversation. Any of you Africans, give me the one-on-one conversation. I love to have a one-on-one conversation, because Africans, they are very long-winded and they talk about nothing related to what you just asked them. So here she is answering the question. She says, Africa has produced many things. What is many things? Many things is not specific. Many things is not a specific statement. If you're answering the white lady by saying many things is not specific. It's not a specific statement. So why would many things be your answer? Hit the thumbs up. For those people who have not hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. And look, where did I get it wrong? Say it in the chat room. Where did I get it wrong? Say it in the chat room. If you can't call in, if you can't call up, say it in the chat room. Where did I get it wrong? Let's have that one-on-one discussion, because I realize what's going on now. Africans are unable to have logical discussions with you. They have these long-winded, deflective answers. Okay, so here go a person. Have you been to Africa? Okay. What does me being in Africa have to do with me researching Africa? Please explain. Because, see, I love this argument. See, you have been to, for those people who have been to America, you haven't experienced Jim Crow. But I'm not going to say to you, have you experienced Jim Crow? I mean, have you been to America? Because you may have been to America, but you haven't experienced America. So this is one of the deflective answers I'm talking about. Have you been to Africa? No. The closest I came to Africa was Madagascar. I was in Madagascar, but I didn't hang out by the way of Zimbabwe. So actually, I've been to Zimbabwe. So I guess Zimbabwe does count as Africa, but by the way of Zimbabwe, but I didn't hang out in Zimbabwe. So here comes another deflective answer. The research does not tell you everything. Okay. Do you see how that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? I have no problem, but it sounds like you're deflecting. Let's be specific. What have Africans in the entire continent, I understand there's several countries, what have Africans created from scratch in Africa? Mr. J.D. Orca. What have Africans created in Africa? I'm waiting. I'm not saying reproduced. I didn't say reproduced. Did not say reproduce. What have Africans created from scratch in Africa that had nothing to do with white people? J.D. Orca, we're waiting. Mr. Future Society of Kings says, even if you go into Africa, doesn't give you insight on how the people there ended up where they currently are. Right, which is why I said Future Society of Kings, if you come here to America, you may not have experienced Jim Crow. Just because you've been here to America don't mean you got to research Jim Crow. You got to research NAFTA. You got to research. Shout out to Actual Factual, my nemesis. How are you, sir? In the building. You know, I got to get Future Society of Gentlemen and Actual Factual to do a head up debate. That would be classic. Future Society of Gentlemen and Actual Factual in a head up debate on any topic. I'll let Actual Factual pick the topic because Future Society of Gentlemen is a great debater. So they created the song Movement. Yeah, I hear you. Let's let the lady hear some more because she don't understand why white people still see her as not human.
We have Kenya. We have, PK. I think Colgate's different from Kenya.
So she still can't come up with something that Africans created. She says, we got PK, we got Kenya. This is her answer for what have Africans created. Her answer is, we got PK and we got Kenya. Let's hear that again. We got PK. Come on, my African people. You guys don't like to articulate specificity.
Equal beings, like, oh no, Africans are superior and then Africans are inferior. I will just remind you, Africa has produced some things.
Africa has produced some things, but she can't tell you what. Africa has produced some things, but she has no idea. She has no specificity on what it is. I love Africans, but all this illogical, long-winded conversation, answer the white woman's question.
We have Kenya. We have, PK. I think Colgate's different from Kenya, right?
I think
we produce so many things. We have so many factories doing so many things.
We have so many things. We have so many factories doing so many things. That's her answer. Can't tell you what specifically. Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna make this whole channel a one-on-one with Africans. I'm serious. I got to make this whole channel. I got to do it for the culture, and it's not because I dislike Africans. It's because Africans don't like honest conversation. I've come to realize it. It's all about deflection. It's all about changing the topic, and he's mad at what the white woman says, but he can't defeat what the white woman said. This is just amazing to me, man. It's just really amazing to me. Let me continue some more. Oh, let me check out what you guys says. Mr. Menez says that's a deflection. Africans have to take responsibility for the condition they are in. Africans have to take responsibility. But if you got people like this lady just making up these fairy tales of we created many things, then you're going to have this guy mad. Good brother, good brother. But, well, what are we mad at? Actual Sexual says he want to debate. Future Society, let me know what day and time you could debate Actual Factual. Put that in the chat room. Mr. Mendez also says they need to take control of their land and resources. Yeah, because you keep giving it away for nothing, for a hope and a dream. But let's continue to listen. Sending this out to a couple of more people.
Just can't listen down because my mind is just going off about what this woman had to say.
You see, what I can say from her post, this is a very ignorant white person.
See, here we go with the name calling. That is the third time he's called this woman a name, but has been unable to logically address any sentence that she said. Let me make this clear. That is the third time he's called this woman a name, but has inability to logically address in specificity, in specifics, anything that she says. So his solution as an African intellectual is to call her names. He's talked about her looks twice already. Now this is the third time. But neither he nor she can intellectually specify where she's wrong. Because her answer is, we have manufacturing companies. We produce many things. That's reproducing. That's like saying Mexico produces many things. So using her logic, she's going to say Mexico produces a lot of stuff. All of us in America know that's not true. She's going to say China produces a lot of computers, but China didn't create those computers. That's reproduction, which proves the white woman that's correct. We got to have these uncomfortable conversations with our African people. Hey, share this to your email people. All your email people, man, hit the share button. Hit the share button right now. Hit the share button and shoot this to all of your Gmail account people. Hit the share button. Shoot this to your Gmail account people, because we got to start having these real deep conversations on the fact that Africans don't like specifics. They don't like detail.
Very,
very ignorant, who probably doesn't even know where Africa is.
See, I think that's the catch-all for everything. Do you know where Africa is? Have you ever been to Africa? But guess what? He just said the woman's from South Africa. So this would not be good if we were in a college debating team. This would not be good, because they're not sticking to what she said. They're deflecting. They're talking about other stuff that has nothing to do with what she actually said. We got to start having these real deep conversations with our African brothers. We really do. She can't express how nothing is built without African natural resources. Easy answer. Yeah, it's like saying, so the resources come from the land, therefore we created it. That's not valid.
I feel like she's somewhere and just hears Africa. She thinks, these are the guys who think Africa is a country.
See, here we go again. They think Africa's a country. Okay, look, African people, let's have a one-on-one conversation. If you know an African, tell them to come over here. Let's have a one-on-one conversation. Everybody outside of America does not look at you as individual countries. Everybody. So you guys got to get it through your head. Okay? Nobody looks at me like I'm only from California. That's what Africans are telling you. Africans are saying, hey, don't look at me as an American. Look at me as I'm only from this particular city. and that's what I represent. I'm from this particular state, and that's what I represent. I totally get that you are big, you are humongous. But have you ever noticed that you Africans say Europeans and colonizers? You don't say specifically which country. Actual Factual is going to like that one. Do you ever know? Do you ever know how Africans always say Europeans or colonizers? Why don't they use the same logic? That's a valid question. Why don't they use the same logic? Use the same logic. If you feel that Africa is a bunch of different countries, so when you talk about white people, why don't you not speak about that country? Why do you not say Europeans? Why do you say? Because everybody does that, sir. So that's not even a logical reply. And again, I'm not beating you down. I'm just speaking that your brain and your debate is at flaw.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. That people who just think, oh, that the simple we think, oh, we live in hut and like lions wake us up.
And I would go here and start insulting her, calling her all.
But you've already done that. You've insulted her 3 times. You haven't spoke not one time to any sentence that she said. The lady next to you has tried to do that. You haven't spoke to any. All you did was insult her. D Raptor says, I agree with you. Most Africans speak in a manner that people outside the continent easily people outside the continent easily understand. Also, Mr. Research, I don't know if you have any friends who are born in Africa. Yeah, I have a couple. But ask them why it takes 10 minutes to exchange. Oh, the white man, the white man, the white man. Yeah, that does happen. Or they don't like greeting you at all, just walking past you. I mean, it's all good. But again, got to have some logical conversations, man. Got to really have 10 p.m. anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, that'll be 7 o'clock my time. I'll make sure that happens, Future Society of King. I'll try to do that today.
All sorts of names, but you get like when I look at her, like,
see, he's back to the looks. This is his 4th insult. This is his 4th time insulting this woman's looks. And that has nothing to do with what she actually said. And this is the problem. This is the problem. The inability to have a conversation that's logical, that has to do with specifics. The inability to have a logical conversation that has to do with specifics. Instead, we're throwing insults.
I feel like she's the one who needs the pity. Like, she seems very single.
He's back to that. That's his 2nd time saying that. Again, still unable to speak to what she actually said. And she's over here laughing because that's what she likes, insults. When are the African people going to be able to have a logical conversation without insults? I'm going to start doing that on this channel. No more of this other stuff I'm talking about. It'll be 100% Africa discussion all the time, every time. Because we need to start having high-level African discussions. Got to. Got to.
She seems very single, and
that's his 2nd time saying that she's single. See, has nothing to do with the topic.
I don't even think there are white men who are with her. So
That's his fifth insult. White men with her. Has nothing to do with what she actually said. See, if we Americans can take it on the chin, Africans got to start taking on the chin that they love deflection. Africans simply love deflection. And I challenge any African to come up here and hold this conversation, because it's to the point where you're like, wow, you guys really can't have a conversation without talking about irrelevant stuff. Stuff that has nothing to do with the topic. It's amazing. Nothing to do with the topic.
I don't know who find her attractive because she really looks so weird. The picture is there, so you can tell us what you think. And I feel like if I was to go on her so hard, like, it would be so bad for her. Like,
yeah, and
see, so this woman tries to speak to her topic, but the man just insults her. Who does that sound like, Black community? This woman tries to be intellectual, but she fails. And the man just throws 5 insults. I don't hate the guy. I'm just pointing it out. Why all the insults? And I'm going to tell you, chat room, it's because many of us as men, are unable to logically hold a conversation. I used to see it in English debating class all the time. Guys get easily frustrated in a logical discussion. Guys get upset when something logical is being discussed. And guys get to the point where they try to bully people physically into agreeing with them. And you're like, dude, we're just having a discussion. It's the same thing when we play sports. You ran the wrong football route. You ran the wrong basketball play. And now we got to have an argument because your inability to realize that you're wrong. Mr. D Raptor says, you and I are educated in the West, say good morning, but Africa, they ask you, are you having a good morning? Tell you they hope you are well after you reply good morning. I know, but you know what, they mean it from a caring place. It is very long, but they mean it from a caring place. I kind of just roll with it. Oh, battery's running low, so we got to get through some of this.
Honestly, as Africans, we are tired, you know.
Yeah,
it's
we're
the
tired.
it's the same thing over and over again. It's the same thing. Oh, you did, like, come on. And the other people coming to Africa as tourists. Why don't you stay where you are if it's Africa?
Like,
is
why are you coming to see lions? Why are you coming to see?
See, here's the thing. If Africans are so tired, maybe the problem is you. Seriously, if Africans are so tired of hearing the same thing over and over again, maybe the problem is you. Maybe you guys are not realizing that you're the issue. Maybe your thinking is correct. So if everybody's saying this, white people saying this, black people saying it, all these people are saying the same exact thing. Why are you not understanding? Maybe we as Africans need to improve, but you don't want to improve. You want to throw insults. Same thing with Black Americans. Not letting you Black Americans off the hook. We got to correct that too. We got to call that crap out. Future Society says older cultures have more. Actually, Future, Africa is the oldest culture over everybody. So this is another reason why nobody understands why we haven't improved yet. Africa is older than China. Older than China, but we haven't improved. Future says older cultures have more intimate greeting customs. We in America are much more safe space conscious. Yeah, true. Uh, hold on, let me send this thing here. Now, again, you guys send this to your hit the share button and send this to your email people. And send this to the people on your Gmail so they can get in on this conversation because it is important, man. It's important to know. Also, I started a dating show. For those people who are interested in the dating conversation, I started that. So yeah, we got to start having better, way better conversations. Um, this stuff is not going good with the way Africans are trying to articulate.
Zebras. Stay there and look at computers. Or I don't.
Hold on. Here's somebody giving me an insult. Tom says, "Dude, you're slow. Everything you said is projection." Okay, so listen to this. He's insulting me. He's stating that I'm doing projection, but let's see if he's able to explain how me being a 3.8 honor student is slow. How what I'm saying is projection in specifics. Let's give Tom the ability to explain. Tom, come on up. I'm going to give you the link, Tom. Come on up. I want you to come in. I want you to come in, Tom. Come on in and hold this conversation. Let's see if we can get this conversation in. Since you say that I don't get it, you're not being specific, Tom. You're just talking in general. But I want to give you the opportunity to prove what you're saying. We got to talk in specificity, Tom. We can't talk just throwing out name calling because I'm not doing that. Okay. Tom says, check the dictionary, the meaning of culture. Okay, culture is traditions. Yes, we agree. So what are you talking about? You're agreeing with me, Tom. Culture is traditions. So what are you talking about? See, we don't know what Tom is talking about because he's talking long-winded in generalities. Be specific, Tom. You're agreeing with me so far. Start making videos addressing large groups of people. I am making videos addressing large groups of people. He's agreeing with me again. Tom isn't making sense. Let's move on. Ref Run says cultures are different everywhere you go. Why is that very hard for people to grasp? Ref Run is agreeing with me. Cultures are different everywhere you go. Who is debating that cultures are not different? See, this is what I mean by it's weird. It's not even logical. Here's one guy that says everything you said is projection, but he can't be specific. Here's another guy who says cultures are different everywhere. Nobody's arguing this stuff. No, this is not a discussion. We're all agreeing on that. So why are you guys making as if we're not in agreement on that? Mr. Raptor says, I have seen this before, always from Africans who want to have a YouTube channel but have little knowledge to speak on the subjects that they deal with. Yeah, it's a weird thing, but I'm willing to step forward. Okay, so here's another insult from Tom. This is 2 insults, but he can't even. Tom has no specificity on what he's saying right now. Tom says, okay, let me insult you again, Mr. Research. This is the reason you are obsessed with the word research. See, all this is about you. It has nothing to do with the topic. This is the problem. It has nothing to do with the topic. Tom would rather insult people, which is what I just proved on this other guy. Tom would rather insult people instead of having a college-based discussion on a topic. See, this is what I realized, gentlemen. I realized the reason why we're having so hard of a difficulty is our Africans don't like being specific. They hate being specific. Insulting is way better. Tom also insults me again. Golly, just the 3rd insult. See a psychotherapist. being hateful of others. See, if you want a intellectual discussion, people like Tom think it's hate. If you want to have an intellectual discussion on a topic, the only thing Tom can do is call you a name. See, we're in the chat room right now. Everybody look at the chat room. Everybody look at what Tom is saying. Tom in the chat room is not saying nothing about the topic because the only strength that he has is to hurt people. Tom's whole topic is to hurt. He doesn't want to be intellectual. Look at him in the chat room. You, I'm so mad. You. This has nothing to do with the topic. Nothing to do with the topic. And this is why we have a hard time connecting, because I realized these past couple of weeks, they hate logic. Being physical, killing people, hurting people, calling people names, that's what they do. That's the only thing they got. That's the only thing they got. And then here you go, having me invite this guy to come on up. And he doesn't even want to come on up. Put your email in the chat room. I'll send you a link and you can start holding the discussion. Because you're calling me names doesn't mean nothing. Claiming that I'm projecting. If you and I were in front of a college professor right now, the college professor would scold you for your inability to have a discussion. Well, Tom, you're a real debater. Come up. Tom says I should get real debaters. Tom's not coming up. I don't know, man. Somebody help Tom, man. Somebody help Tom put his email in the chat room so I can send him a link. Somebody help Tom. Let's all help Tom get his email in the chat room so I can send him a link, because he says I'm not, but Tom just wants to insult. Tom don't want to have a discussion. Tom don't even know what the topic is. Tom just knows that you ain't never supposed to say nothing disrespectful. If you disagree, you're disrespecting Tom. Let's move on away from Tom, because Tom is just a person who calls people names. He's kind of like the Ku Klux Klan. Let's go back to what they're saying.
I don't know what
the research facility she's talking about. Go
there and be in the university.
And this whole thing of division of, oh, you have that, like, no one can have everything in life. There's some things you have that we don't have. There's some things we have that they don't have. You get, like, this whole thing of, oh, I have this and you have that. Honey, that's not the way to heaven.
Oh, and
this has nothing to do with what the white woman said. This is just amazing to me, man. This has nothing to do with what the white woman says.
By the way, let me tell you, Tracy freaking Zeal.
See, he's still mad. Jesus Christ. Why get mad? Just speak to what she actually said. Mr. Mendez says the reason Africa is backwards because the attitudes like Tom. Yeah. I just realized it this past 2 weeks, man. They want to they hate specificity. They hate details. They hate it. O'Shea's Kinganda is live right now, Mr. Research. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. It says you're filled with envy. See, it's like he's just constantly name calling, man. It's just like, wow. Mendez says there's no reason most what would say there's no reason I'm not gonna do that. There's no reason most of Africa should be poor. Yeah, it makes no sense, the fact that Africa's poor. And Tom can't even tell you why Africa's poor. I mean, all the resources come from Africa, but it's amazing, man. But when you got people like Tom, man, it's always about name calling and being disrespectful. Reference says you look at things on the surface level. Okay, explain to me how it's on the surface level. Let's look at it from a deep level. Ref Run, you explain on a deep level why things are not created in Africa. Explain. See, I'm a very good debater. Why? Even you yourself don't know what you're talking about. See, that's another thing. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Share this with the people in your email group so we can get other people over here, because here's two people that all they can do is name call. You don't understand what you're talking about. You have no knowledge of what you're talking about. Okay, then you explain something better. Well, I'm not going to explain nothing better. Okay, you're just going to name call. Okay. Mr. Sway says, once I was married to an African. Now, mind you, we love Africans over here. We love Africans. This ain't against Africans. This is just, we got to get these people like Tom who just name call out the way. We got to start calling out these people who want the division like Tom. Sway, I was once married to an African and the sister had some hidden jealousy towards black. Yeah, I don't understand, man. It's like, just like this lady was talking about, I don't understand why Africans are not seen as humans. Nobody sees it that way. But once you try to have a discussion, once I saw those guys with O'Shea, I just knew they were after money and nothing more. No, don't call them names. Don't call them names. Don't say they're ignorant. I mean, name calling ain't cool. But they think they know what they're talking about. I don't know, man. It's a weird thing, man. It's a really weird thing, because you're looking at people asking them, okay, why is this particular thing happening? And they can't tell you. They have an inability to tell you why it's going on.
You and your so-called manufacturers come here to Africa to get raw materials.
Raw materials is not creation. That is created by the land. The white woman says, what have you and the African lady created? She and her white people created the universities that Africans attend. She and her white people created the vaccine, which is what this topic is all about. She and the white people created the buildings. She's asking, what have Africans created? And your response is raw materials. This is just amazing, man. The inability of Africans to have specific, detailed answers is amazing. Specific details answers. It's just amazing.
Minerals, oil, to go and do all this nonsense you're talking about. So before you start coming to talk all this trash, make sure you have certain kind of research from what you
see. And that's the thing. Everybody says have research. The fact that you found diamonds in America, in Alaska, America, does not mean Americans created diamonds. It doesn't mean that. Just because you found oil in Texas does not mean that Texas people created oil. You cannot use that as a answer. Where is this coming from? You cannot use that as an answer. It's not an answer. I found dirt in America, and because you in France use my dirt, therefore I create dirt. Come on, you guys. Come on. I just realized that Africans hate specifics. They hate specific, detailed answers.
Saying, because this is nonsense. There are certain things you...
And that's the word for everything. This is nonsense. Because they don't have the ability, and I just realized, because they don't have the ability to answer a specific question, because they spend so much time deflecting, and deflecting, we can never get to an understanding. And I'm going to dedicate this channel to doing just that. You want to have a debate? Come on, I'll let you speak, but then I'm going to put you on mute, and then I'm going to speak. And then I'm going to let you speak. Yeah, everybody going to be able to speak. But this is crazy. This is crazy. And the name calling is crazy. I just asked you what's 2 plus 2. You start insulting me. Well, you need to go research. Oh my God. This is crazy. Just the insults.
You make that you wouldn't have made without Africa's help. For example, you get
Africa's help. Help in doing what? Help in doing what?
guys come for coffee planted here and it's exported to you. So for you to come out and say there's nothing made in Africa.
Okay, sir. If I plant marijuana in the ground, did I create it or did the ground create it? And if I was to use your argument, sir, that you planted coffee in the ground, then why don't you stop exporting it and have it only come from Africa? Do. Look, Scooby, a clue. Let me say it again. For all you African people who are latching on to his argument. If you say that you planted coffee, then you have the internet. Why don't you stop giving those white people the coffee and have the coffee only come from Africa? Why do you not reach out to other Niger? Matter of fact, this is too much of a solution. This is going to get Africans upset. This is too much of a solution. This is going to get Africans upset. Why do you not say, hey, Mr. White Man, Mr. French guy, you're no longer going to get our coffee, or our coffee prices have tripled. We're going to sell the coffee directly ourselves. You didn't create the coffee. Mother Earth created the coffee. Raw materials is not something you created. She didn't say she put something in the ground and white people, and she didn't say white people created gold. You're switching the whole conversation.
Africa is just anointing oil. Well, that's true. There are many people who are prophets, who claim to be prophets and pastors here.
So finally, he addressed one thing that the white woman said, and he admitted that what the white woman said is true. I'm not on the white woman's side. I'm on the side of what we researched. Okay? That's what I'm on the side of. Okay, so Ref Ron says, to be honest, even you yourself don't know everything you're talking about. Okay, thank you for the insult, Ref, but I never said I know everything. I'm holding a discussion and I'm saying I'm not getting specific answers. And I, Ref, can give you a specific answer to something. So, Ref, come on the show, don't hide in the chat room, and let's talk about specificity. We were supposed to go and help them when they got their own governments and etc. and they needed our help. What the hell we need? Hey, I don't know, Sway. Let me see who else came in. Mr. Mosman says a premium collection. Right. Africa, look, dirt by Africa. You know, you didn't create dirt. You didn't create diamonds. You didn't create the stuff comes from the ground. M. Sway says hate that don't have the comprehension of details, just diversion and name calling. Yeah, it's all about name calling and diversion. Lisa says I'm not compatible to colonize idiots. Okay, I must be late, Miss Lisa. I don't know where that one came from. Miss Lisa said, I'm so tired of idiots on earth. Ref says, the main problem with Africa is that the leaders and gatekeepers, true, are messing it up for everybody. A main role is that there are people in position. Yeah, the leaders don't put their people in position. That's the main reason. Let me go to what Miss Lisa says because I'm a little confused with me. Africa is not older than Western America. Okay, what do you mean not older, Lisa? What do you mean not older? Because Africa did have several kings. The only kings at the time were Africa, the Celts, the Franks, and China. Uh, I have nothing, no research from the Iron Age or the pre-Iron Age that shows what was going on with this continent. But if you have something else, please let me know. Uh, okay, reference says that's not an insult; it's a fact. Um, I don't know which one you're talking about, Ref, but uh, Tom says he's still afraid to come up because he doesn't want to be made a fool of. Okay, sorry, Tom. You don't want to come up because you don't want to be made a fool of. Okay. Uh, Miss Omega, shout out to Miss Omega, beautiful lady from our political side of things. I'm listening to this in my Nigeria shirt, but I hear you. Hey, look, here's the thing, though. Here's the only thing I'm saying, Miss Omega. Here's the only thing I'm saying. At some point in time, we got to stop. Our African people have to be detailed in what they're saying. They can't insult their way through a discussion. You just can't insult your way through a discussion. That's what I don't understand. You know, when you're just throwing out insults, that don't get nobody nowhere. That don't get nobody nowhere. But if you're just throwing out insults, I mean, that's how I look at it. If you just, that don't get nobody anywhere. These heathens got ignorance to be alive it. Okay, to live it. Ref says it's the same problem with Black America. Yes, I said that earlier. It's the same problem with Black America. Black America also does this stuff where they want to fight and that type of stuff. But we got to get our Africans to have logical conversations and not these insults.
There are many people who have claimed to have anointing oil, but hey, just like anything, there are two sides of anything. Just because that is what you know about what is in Africa.
Not, that's all.
I mean, that's what we're doing. We're drinking.
So this is your opportunity to tell her something different. And you spent 12 minutes and you haven't told her nothing different. You're agreeing with her with your inability to give anything different. The only thing this woman said was, we've done many things. What does that mean? There's no detail there.
Drinking anointing oil for dinner or something. So Tracyville, please, I don't know if it's a fake page, but if you're a real person.
Oh, there's rumor going around that it's actually a fake page. Well, that person must be sad.
But it was posted on a certain Kampala blog, like a newspaper.
Okay. Honestly, that's really sad. I mean, why?
It's not really sad. You got to be able to answer a specific question. You can't be, okay, Miss Omega, this is what I'm saying. Africans got to be able to answer a specific question without saying, have you been to Africa and you don't understand? If I ask you a specific question about Nigeria, don't say to me, have you been there? If I ask you a specific question about Nigeria, don't say, well, you need to come. If I ask you a specific question about Nigeria, don't say, well, here's what's going on in America. Answer the specific question. That's the problem we all have, is that the inability that 80%, because I understand 20% of Africans are well-spoken, are well researched, and they don't call you names. They actually are able to answer valid questions. Whether I agree with the question or not is irrelevant. Can you answer a question with specificity? But just name calling, that gets nobody nowhere.
It's like it's back in the days where people used to think like Africans look like monkeys, and like Africans are like so dark.
That's not back in the day. White people think that to this day. And see, this is the problem with the African women. The African women, they're still saying that. You know, back in the days, they didn't look at Africa like, they still look at Africa like that. And you got to be able to have a valid conversation about the fact that these people still look at it that way. That's what they understand about Africa. You saying that you're a human, that doesn't really mean anything to them. Like, I love Africans, I really do, and this is why I decided to have this type of conversation, because Africans don't want to be intellectually challenged. Africans want you to just agree and shut up. I realize that now.
Well, if I was to say what, I'm not going to say what she looks like, but hey, she doesn't look that good. So that's what I can tell you. Like,
this is his 6th time, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. This is his 6th time talking about her looks. But he has only addressed what she said one time. But he's constantly talking about her looks. That's not logical. If that's all Africans can do is call names, that's not logical. So, Ref said it's the same person, same with Black America. Yes, I acknowledge that. Omega says I agree with some of this sentiment. Reference says the only Black Americans on YouTube who knows what they're talking about is Chronicles of Judah. Yeah, but Chronicles of Judah does not ask Africans anything about the complexities of Africa. Chronicles of Judah doesn't disagree with the things that are going on in Africa. I haven't heard it. Have you, Ref? Omega says communication and proper intellectual exchange is global skill, definitely needed. Absolutely. Omega says I agree in part. Ref says what you're doing is like something getting a video from an ignorant Black American and starts reviewing it to make himself feel superior. So here's the thing. So Ref, your thing is don't point out anything, right? Your thing is make no points at all. How do we grow, Ref? If we don't make any points about it, Ref, how do we grow? Shout out to Gabe. Gabe, what's going on? If we don't make any points about where Africa people are making false statements about Africa, how do we grow? So here it is, Ref, and I'm glad Gabe is here because Gabe is a professional person. He'll tell you. The lady asks, what is created in Africa? This guy responds, coffee grows out the ground. That's not logical. Mother Earth created that. The Africans didn't create that. They may have cultivated it. They may have fertilized it, but they didn't create it. Come on, you guys. The white woman was saying, hey, white people created toothpaste. White people created toothbrushes. White people created the universities that are in Africa. What she's saying is Africans didn't create none of those things. What have Africans created from scratch? And his response was, I put a seed in the ground and the ground and the ground made the seed grow. Therefore, I, the African, created. Come on, man. Come on. That don't even make mathematical sense. But if you guys want to come up, you can come up and debate that thing. Omega says our sound communication is vital to the progress. Yeah, we got to have a discussion, man. I'm not trying to insult people, but I'm saying, how are we having a discussion if you are unable as an African to answer the question? That's confusing to me. You can't answer the question, but we're supposed to have a logical discussion. That's very confusing. How do we do that? How do we do that? How can we have a logical discussion if you avoid what's being said? Tom said he's afraid to come up here and hold the discussion. Tom says he's just going to say what he say from the chat room because it's safe. He don't want to be seen, be looking bad. Menez says, Tom, why are you hiding? I don't know.
You would want to be African.
Yeah.
Your first, you would want to be African.
Tracy, what you said was mean and uncalled for, and I hope you're cancelled.
She said what the woman said was mean and uncalled for. Now, the part about rats, I might agree on that. But everything else the woman said was pretty spot on. Lisa says resources come from the USA. Why are all these foreigners here? No, I love my foreigners, Lisa. I love my foreigners. It's just they don't like being specific about, they don't like specificity in answering questions. They like just to insult you and tell you to stop talking. They don't like holding college discussions.
You know how that thing where you're cancelled and then like you lose your job?
Everybody, go ahead and hit the like button, and please hit the share button. Please hit the share button on the video right now. Let's get some people who can hold. Let's get more Africans over here who can hold intellectual discussions, because we need to be able to hold intellectual discussion, not be like Tom, scared. You know, we gotta be able to hold intellectual discussion. Let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish that on anyone.
Oh, come on, you can lose your job after talking all this trash.
That was me.
You deserve to.
Now he's talking about the woman needs to lose her job because what she's saying is trash. I would love to just have a discussion. I would love to just have a discussion, man. Menez says, why are most Africans poor when they have every resource known to man? Ask Tom. Tom says he don't even want to answer that question. Tom is afraid of every chat room question you guys have asked him, because Tom wants you to shut up and call you ignorant. He's in the chat room quivering, scared, because he cannot answer a question. And this is the problem that we're all facing, man. The inability for Africans to answer simple questions. Nobody's trying to disrespect. Nobody's trying to disrespect. But nobody understands why it has to be this way. Why it has to be all this deflection. Answer the simple question. It's not hard. Answer a simple question. Let's go again. It says, oh, hold on. I got to do one other thing. Okay.
Tracy, that was so, it's not nice.
So now he wants her to lose her job because he's unable to answer a question.
It's really mean. Like, oh, we produce all the, look, what's her thing with toothpaste? Why does that stand out to her?
His tooth was like the biggest thing to her. Maybe she used not to brush her teeth. And
again, I love Africans. Now he's talking about brushing her teeth. That's not intellectual. We're just name calling. This is his 8th time calling her something or saying something this disparaging. This isn't logic. Tom is trying to be intellectual finally. He says, not everything that is manufactured is sold overseas. Nobody said that, Tom. Tom needs to go to a college. Get with a professor and learn how to have a discussion.
And she realized, oh my God, what would we do without this?
And she thinks toothpaste is all that is in life.
Right. So, like, Tracy, please style up.
Okay, but Ref, let me stop the show. Ref, explain how it's being superior. Explain how is asking a question being superior? Do you want us to just shut up? Seriously, Ref. Seriously, because since you in the chat room, you can answer directly. I'm going to stop the show just for Ref. Ref, do you want us to not say anything? Is that your intellectual standpoint? Don't ask any questions. Don't critique. Is that your answer for everything, Ref? Seriously, let's have that discussion, because I think Ref is getting to a point where Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Just go your own way. Well, if don't say nothing is the answer, why are you saying anything? This is what's confusing. I want Africans and Americans to build together. I don't want this whole don't say nothing. I am okay with Americans being critiqued. I have critiqued Americans 3 times in this video. But here we go with the deflection again. Oh, you just want to be superior. Come on, man. Come on. Africans gotta be able to do better than that. Gotta be able to do better than that. Gotta be able to do better than that. That's the craziest thing. Gotta be able to do better than that. So it is what it is. It is what it is. They gotta be able to do better than that. You gotta be able to just answer a question. You gotta do better than that. It's a question. Simple question.
If I ever see you in Kampala,
Beating you on the side.
no, I'm not promoting violence.
So he says, if he ever see her in Kampala, she says, splitting your side. Wow, over a discussion? You want to hurt people over a discussion? Over a discussion.
Anything the box can do.
So that's it. Over a discussion. That's it. That's the craziest thing, man. Unable to have a discussion. That's crazy. That's the weirdest thing, man. You ask a question, it's all about violence, it's all about all this other stuff.
But like, we'll have a serious conversation.
Okay,
and someone will lose.
Wait. He said a serious conversation, but he been name calling the woman all this time. Calling her names all this time. But he's talking about a serious discussion. How are we having a serious discussion if all we're doing is name calling? See, this is what I don't understand. Everybody say they want to have a serious discussion, but then they name calling all the time. Oh man, it's crazy, man. It's just real crazy. This is real nuts. Tom and Ref are hate watching, but won't leave. You said it, Sway. You said it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I said, what it is, Sway, is shut up and don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't just. I mean, I'm gonna talk about black people and crime for a minute. USA black people. Let's see if they disagree with that. USA black people have to be criticized for the crime that USA black people do to USA black people. USA black people are not fixing that problem. What do I do personally? I work for 3 volunteer groups for black boys. What do I do personally? I'm trying to start something with the health organization in my city to show black boys how to get into medical. What do I do personally? I've hired 12 black men at my hospital before the pandemic. Because see, I gotta say that because the deflection is always, well, what you doing? Now that I've told you what I've done, now you're looking for another gotcha moment. We as Black Americans, we cannot do it the way the Africans do it. We can't do the whole living a lie. That's what has hurt Black YouTubers so much, is this constant living a lie stuff. Black Americans constantly living a lie. So to the credit of the Africans, that's the one thing that they're able to do is come to a place and get money. Okay. And we as Americans, we need to understand that it's not about being appreciated as Black Americans. We are going to have to do exactly how our African cousins do. We're going to have to just look at everything about getting money. And what that means is if you need to bond with the white person against the African in effort to get money, you're going to have to do it because that's the mentality that everybody's on. So if you're Black people and you want to survive, you're going to have to do that. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Green Machine, how are you, sir? This is a very unique topic. Mendez says the Africans, well, let's not talk about Africa for a second. Let's get back on African Americans. So African Americans, we have to understand that part of it. What people want us to do is shut up. People don't want us to speak at all. People just want to wag their finger at the USA people. That's all they want. And when you hold these questions, now you see, I just criticized the USA people. You don't have no USA people who are watching right now mad at what I just said about USA people. You know why we don't get mad? It's because we understand we got issues that we got to correct. Green Machine in the building. Mendez says the Africans will never be able to improve because they hate to take criticism. Hey, Tom is a prime example. Hey, he don't want to hear nothing that's negative. He like bump that. Lisa, what our people don't understand is we must investigate information. That's all I'm asking, Lisa. Why can't we just investigate the information? Lisa, you hit it right on, Lisa. We hit it right on. All we got to do is investigate the information. That's all we got to do. Investigate the information. That's it. We just got to put ourselves in a situation where we're able to hold intellectual conversations with other melanated people. Carlton says, no, we don't have to breed with them to make more dark-skinned people. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love Africans. Really, I do now. But it's really a funny thing how it's all about you're just not allowed to ask questions. It's always deflection, always talking about something that has nothing to do with nothing. And then when you point it out, it's like, how dare you point it out? You know, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then the name calling. And it's like, for what? To what end? Why all the anger?
Lose their hair. I don't know who, but someone is going to lose their hair.
We are joking.
He says somebody's going to lose their head. She says we're joking. Why even say that type of stuff?
Guys,
yeah, it's just
a joke.
But hey, that is
somebody's going to lose their head as a joke. Hey, shout out to the people who caught that joke. Somebody's going to lose their head as a joke. That's the way you're answering a question of what have you created. Okay. All right. Yeah, Carlton, we do have to groom them, and that's why I said I'm gonna make this a Africa rebuttal channel moving forward, because we need to hold these higher level discussions. The white man's opinions are more correct. Yeah, that's what a lot of time it boils down to. The white man's opinion is more correct. It's crazy.
Is what Tracy Zeal has. Tracy Zeal has to say, and this is not for all of you who are going to watch this video. Tracy Zeal is not every white person. She's just one of the damn white people around in the world. Like, she's just one of them. Other white people definitely would. I don't know if they are sharing such views, but yeah. This is how.
See, here's another thing to the people in the chat room. He said he doesn't know if other white people are sharing these views. This is the difference between Americans and Africans. Africans are unsure. Oh man, matter of fact, let's dig into this. Africans are unsure of whether other white people are sharing these views, while ADOS Americans can guarantee other white people are sharing these views. Africans don't understand why they're not seen as humans by white people, but Americans can guarantee that white people don't view them like that. So this is the difference. This is the difference that we have. We have this difference. Oh, you got a different phone. Would you like, matter of fact, I can try to reach out to you via this other link and see if you can get in there, Lisa. Let me, Lisa, I'm going to send you a Google Hangout invite, and we're going to try to get you to speak on the phone through this invite, okay? So be looking out for the invite, Lisa. As soon as I can find it. And we'll try to get you hooked up through that way. Yeah. The Green Machine says, the way I see it is they have the right mindset for money, but the wrong mindset for interacting with the natives. Yeah, I've had other Africans, the 20-30% of Africans who understand what we're talking about. Yeah, I've had Africans say who they don't want to go back to Africa because the people are not street smart. He said, it was an African guy telling me this. He said, other Africans are not street smart. They're not street aware. They're not internationally aware. They're really country type of people. And when he said that, it made me understand why, things are the way they are. Because if you got nothing but country thinking, then that's very damaging on how we move forward. If you got this country way of seeing the world.
View currently, and we are on Tracy's Zeal for these stupid views of hers, and we are not supporting them. And I guess after listening to us, everyone is depending on everyone. So whatever she's talking about here, she's talking about
whatever she's talking about. She's talking about, once again, Africans don't create inside of Africa. Just because you plant a seed in the ground don't mean you created it. I don't know why you would use that as a discussion point. I planted a seed in the ground, so therefore I created the plant. That makes no type of sense. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But people are constantly saying this type of stuff. Let's see if I can find Lisa. Okay, here goes Lisa. Let's see if we can get Lisa. And see if I can get Lisa to all right, Lisa, I just sent you a call. So go ahead and hit that telephone, Lisa. And let's see if we can get you speaking on this particular topic. So we're going to try to get Lisa in here because she says she can speak to some of this. Oh, the heck?
Refusing the who refused the vaccine, by the way?
Some people actually don't want to take the vaccine because they have issues against it.
For the pandemic, yeah?
Yeah.
What
like if there's some people, that people actually don't even vaccinate against, the 12 diseases.
So they feel like it's a trap.
Yeah, so they don't want to die. And there are videos going around apparently there's a nurse.
Well, here's the funny thing. He didn't even investigate what she was talking about because he's like, well, what are they talking about with the vaccine? That was her original point. So if he don't even know her original point, he's just going off one part of this. That's messed up in itself. You got to research everything, sir. Green Machine, the way I see is that they have to, okay, I said that. Mr. Research, I got a different phone, so I need help to speak to you. and others directly. Okay. Um, you got to download the. Well, I will email you and we'll work that out. Yep, you're right. Village country way of seeing the world.
But it's a whole lot to the vaccine.
But I wouldn't be shocked even if the Africans who don't want the vaccine already have their own traditional vaccine.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. So if the Africans already have their own traditional vaccine, the white woman's point is, well, don't talk negatively about the vaccine. You know what I said about the vaccine? Don't take the first one or two, just take the third one. You know what I would say? Don't even take that vaccine. Use a traditional African one. But that was her whole point, and you're calling her names because she's speaking to that point. Okay, all right, you're right, but it's weird.
Rich.
So just because yours is in some fancy, I don't know.
Maybe there's an African who has gotten a herbal vaccine.
Yeah, and they're taking it, sipping tea at the beach.
And they survived.
And he wasn't in the university.
All from our ancestors.
So please, Tracy, you'll style up.
We are tired.
Mind about other things. You have other problems in the US that I don't know where she's from.
You
Sorry.
can put your energy too.
I don't know if she's from the US. Sorry about that. I don't know where she's from.
Yeah.
But please, wherever you're from, mind about those problems. Like, mind about your own problems, and we'll mind about ours.
Tracy gets
See, and we're back to that end. Don't say nothing. Don't have an opinion. That's off the chain, man. That is off the chain. Don't have an opinion. Only thing we Africans want is that you agree with us. Wow.
Yeah. You're a bad character of the year for now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've cancelled 2021. Like the bad thing in 2021. So style up. And please, if there's any other person who wants to talk about this, because like I said, there are certain things she said that are in Africa. But like I said,
he didn't say one thing that was in Africa. Wait a minute. Hold on, everybody watching. Hold on. He said there are several things that she said that are in Africa, but he didn't mention one. He talked about coffee seeds in the ground. You don't create coffee seeds. Mother Earth creates coffee seeds. You don't create coffee seeds. The ground creates coffee seeds. You didn't create that. You may have cultivated it, but you didn't create it. Creation is taking several different raw elements and creating something unique, unlike anything else, anywhere else. When a baby is created, the baby has fingerprints that are unique. The baby's sister is different from the baby's brother. The other sister is different from the other sister. That is creation. You're creating something original by taking these elements. But then you guys are saying, well, Africa has mountains and you come here for the mountains to create that product. Therefore, we Africans created it. That's not a valid discussion.
Those are not the only things that are in Africa. So I'm not going to be stupid and say, oh no, we don't have this, we don't do this. Because hey, every society is messed up. There's nothing perfect. So
that's not a valid, none of that is valid in what he just said. None of that. That would never pass a college professor's scrutiny. College professor would tell you to go back and write that paper. That's not even valid.
Thank you.
Tracy Zeal, style up, and I hope.
All right, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah, man, we got to start having higher level conversations because this stuff is crazy. Shout out to the people that donated. Much love to you for those folks who donated. We're gonna start having real decent conversation. Maurice, shout out to you twice, sir. Thank you, sir, for helping. We're gonna put that toward the advertising team. But this is what I'm hearing more. I'm hearing more people say, Africans want us to just shut up. Africans don't want us to ask them questions. They don't want to be put on the spot and give intellectual answers. And I'm like, wow, okay, so hey, we're gonna change this whole thing and just start talking about just that. Much love to you guys. And Lisa, you and I will connect soon. I'm gonna send you an email, Lisa. Much love. Talk to you guys. Peace.